here today with John Davis, and what is your career?
I'm a school counselor.
And when did you know what you wanted your career to be?
Well, that's an interesting question because I didn't end up in the career that I thought I was going to be in. When I was in high school, I got very interested in video production, and I worked at the high school and made school videos and got really interested in that. I was sort of interested in that already because when I was a junior high school kid up in Los Angeles, a member of our church worked at the Desilu Studios, which became Paramount Studios later, but back then it's where they filmed I Love Lucy and old shows like Dick Van Dyke and the Andrew Griffith Show, shows you probably aren't too familiar with. But anyway, I used to get to hang out on the set and it was really exciting, so I thought I wanted a career in television. So I got a little scholarship from high school, very little, but it helped, and I went down to San Diego State from Orange County, and I got a Bachelor of Science degree in radio and television production. And after that, I was going to go back up to Los Angeles and get a job in the television or movie industry. May have been famous, who knows? But instead, the El Cajon School District offered me a job, temporary job, to make some training videos for their teachers. And so I went ahead and took that job, and then I got very interested in what the teachers were doing with the kids. It was in special education, and I was really interested in behaviors, so I would have never guessed this would have happened, but I ended up going back to college and getting a teaching credential, special ed credentials for learning disabled and behavior disordered kids, resource specialist credential, and got a job as a teacher working with special ed kids for 2 years. And I was so interested in behaviors, I decided to go back to college again, and I got a master's degree in counseling and the counseling credential, and ended up being the counselor at Montgomery Middle School.
So when you decided to not do video production, were you just done with video production, or was it lack of money at the time?
Well, I wasn't done with it, but you know, I did work in radio for a while, and I did work at a recording studio down here in San Diego, and I don't know, it just wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be. To be honest with you, some of the people weren't the best, and I just really liked the connection with the staff and the students in the school district. So
like the school atmosphere better.
So I don't regret it. As a matter of fact, I still dabble in it a little bit because at the middle school I was able to write a grant and got equipment to do a little broadcast studio, and I've been helping the middle school students do a daily broadcast, sort of like a broadcast slash Saturday Night Live. And so I'm still in it a little bit, but I've really loved being a counselor.
So what about your career do you like most?
What do I like about it? The fact that I get to help people, you know. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world today. A lot of particularly middle school kids are stressed out with things at home. You know, the economy's sort of up and down, and money problems, and just a lot of tension in their lives. And so I get to go into work every day with the mindset that I'm going to be able to make somebody's life better.
And what emotions does your career consist of?
Well, luckily as a counselor, it's pretty much positive emotions. I mean, you do have the stress about worrying sometimes about kids that you know are in dangerous situations. But unlike my friend, the assistant principal, who I work closely with, who has to deal with negative emotions a lot because she's doing discipline, so she deals with the kids once they're in trouble, they've already made a mistake, and now they have to have a consequence for it. I, on the other hand, get to be the one who helps the students as a support person, help them make better decisions, and the emotions there are pretty positive.
So what is the most difficult aspect of your career, do you think?
Probably the most difficult aspect is the fact that with budget cuts, we went from 3 counselors down to just 1, and so it's myself and 850 kids. So being able to serve that large of a population, I really have to prioritize the issues that I deal with. So someone who's in danger, or it maybe is a cutter or suicidal or running away from home, pregnancies, that type of thing. Those are the priority over the academic issues because, you know, teachers, of course, feel that their subject matter is the most important thing, and that is true, but if a student doesn't have their basic needs met, in my opinion, if they're worried about life and stressed out, separated from family, I think they need to get that emotion figured out before they can go sit in a classroom and be ready to learn.
So what's your daily routine like at work?
Well, my daily routine is I go in and get a cup of coffee because I'm not a morning person. And I have mailboxes around campus where students fill out requests to see me. We'll have emails to answer from teachers who are concerned about students, parents that are concerned about their kids, and phone messages so I follow up on all of that. And I also have scheduled groups, like groups for social skills groups for students who come from divorce or separation or grief or loss, perhaps death in the family, anger management, that type of thing. So I'm pretty busy.
Would you do anything different, like before your career, school-wise, maybe now?
Would I look back and would I have done anything different?
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, I always wonder about that because I always wonder if I should have, taken that fork in the road and gone into education instead of being up in glamorous Hollywood. But I don't think there is anything I would have done different because my life's pretty full right now.
What kind of people do you work with?
All kinds of people. I mean, I work with great people, staff, a lot of parents are really supportive and want to work as a team to help their students succeed. But on the other hand, a lot of times when people are stressed and things aren't going well in their lives, they can be very difficult to deal with. There are parents that can be, that they're hurt and they're angry and they are very demanding sometimes. And it's important to let them see that I really want to assist them and not fight them on issues.
Mm-hmm. And you do have a lot of parents that you struggle with.
That does happen, yes.
Why is your job important to the community?
Well, because hopefully the skills that the kids are learning through counseling in the middle school will transfer into the community. For example, conflict resolution. When students have conflicts with each other, I don't see that as just a negative situation. It's really an opportunity to teach communication skills, resolution skills, so they're going to get something positive out of it. It's not just like if two kids are having a fight with each other, not physical fight, but tension. The main goal isn't to fix that. The main goal is to teach them how to deal with it, so they can deal with it at home, on the job,
Kind of
with
like
authorities such as police,
kind of
judges.
like the fisherman thing, where you teach a man how to fish.
Yes, exactly.
So, where do you see yourself in 10 years in your career?
Well, I'm kind of winding it down, so I'm at the peak of my career right now with 33 years with the school district. In 10 years, hopefully I'll still be around and enjoying life, fishing, getting back into music because there are a lot of instruments I like to play, and hopefully I'll still be in a position to maybe even do some part-time volunteer work so I don't get rusty with my counseling skills.
Oh, down at the school you would do some volunteer work?
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't sound bad. What advice would you give me, say, to if I was to choose your career? If I was to go into your line of work, what advice would you give me?
Well, I'd say before you choose that, you have to ask yourself some questions. I mean, you have to be passionate about working with people, helping people. If you're going to go into like a middle school age, you have to really be interested in working with that age because adolescence, 13, 14, can be very difficult sometimes. You really need to understand that and be supportive. So if you feel like you're someone who can be positive, stay positive, and help others under the stress, then I would encourage you to go through with it because it's an awesome career.
Well, thanks a lot, Mr. John Davis. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.